Hi everyone. Hello, hello, how are we all doing today? Well, Rav's up and at 'em. He's up and at 'em. He heard me start talking and he's immediately gotta be involved. No, I get it, Rav, I get it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know, Rav. What's going on? Who the heck am I talking to, right? Smooches for the boy. Smooches for my son. Oh, he's such a little guy. He's such a little guy. So I have a question for you all, actually. Because I've decided to try using the SummerSlam layout for this. And I was curious, as far as preference goes for you all, do you prefer a layout more like this, where the game is separate from everything else? Obviously, if I were to do my own layout like this, there wouldn't need to be all of the extra charity stuff added on, so we would have more room. But, yeah. I'm not saying this layout specifically. Obviously not this layout specifically, because this is the SummerSlam layout, right? But if I were to get something else, would it be better to do a layout where the game is kind of separate from everything else, or a layout where the game has stuff over top of it like I normally do? Oh, what we've been doing is fine? Okay. Well, I might change back then, to be honest. I just wanted to try. I wanted to experiment a little bit. See how it looked. Layout is possible, but I would like the game to stay big. Okay. That's kind of what I figured. There can be issues with screen elements overlapping, like with chat covering news articles and of the devil. Okay. Okay. Maybe I should just be better with, like, dynamically moving things around a little bit. This music is very loud. Okay. Well, we'll think about that going forward. We'll consider our ideas in the future. So, for today, this is our last stream of the VTuber SummerSlam, okay? So, this is our last chance for last-minute donations and all that. This is our last big hurrah as part of this event. So, what we're doing today is we're going to be doing my Rav Smooch. He just hopped off my lap. He just hopped off. I really need to put a timer on that. Hello, Rav. In your chair. I kiss my hand and then pat the top of him head. Ooh, oh God. So yes, this is our last stream of the SummerSlam. So what we're going to be doing today is doing my entry into the Minecraft building competition. I'm definitely super good at Minecraft building. The theme for this is the Gamers Outreach Go-Kart. Oh. Let's see, this is the server, right? Yeah. Hold on a moment. Hold on a moment. Oh god, it's been a bit. It's been a bit. Where is view bobbing? I need to get that out of here. Get view bobbing out of here. Da. Is it in controls? Auto jump is off. Genuinely, where is view bobbing as a setting? I know it's a setting. Nothing in quality and performance. Definitely nothing here. It wouldn't be an it is an accessibility for some reason. I'm not sure how view bobbing is an accessibility thing, but oh well. So, this year's theme is go-kart. Get as creative as you'd like with the theme. The server is set to creative. Mob damage is also off. Keep builds to a 50 by 50 box. Make sure to submit your coords and photos before the 28th. Okay? Wow, this is a great start. So, go-kart specifically is one of Gamers Outreach's projects. It is a mobile gaming setup thing made of medically safe materials. I don't know if I have permissions to do that. Sure enough, sure enough. Oh, well. What a heck. It's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna go on a journey in the rain. So the go-kart is their mobile video game setup, basically. It's the thing they do to let kids play video games in Hospital. Can't sleep, boss. Can't sleep. That's fine. So, what we're gonna be doing is what I was thinking is, oh my goodness, there's some loud ass music outside. So we are going to build one of the Gamers Outreach go-karts, one of those mobile video game setups, and then set it so that, like, if you look through the screen, you will see, oh my god, I'm always forgetting to do this. You will see, like, a go-kart track. So, like, you're playing Mario Kart on the Gamers Outreach go-kart. Do you see the vision? Do you understand the vision? Give me one sec. There we go. So we have the donate link that I just pinned in chat. And then there is also a QR code at the bottom left that you should be able to see. Scanning that QR code should also take you to the donation page. Thank you so much for the donation, by the way, Boxley Blow. We're now at $666. Incredible work, everyone. So, I'm gonna find a nice little spot. Needs to be relatively flat, I think. Okay. And we're gonna try and fulfill my vision. We're gonna try and do it. Okay? I believe in us. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark out where our boundaries are. Okay? Hi, Para. Let's see. When you were in Boy Scouts in elementary school, your dad made you Mario Kart themed wooden race cars. Mm-hmm. I remember Pinewood Derby. I remember Pinewood Derby. I was a Boy Scout. Fun fact for you. I was a Boy Scout. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Okay. Then we're gonna go in the other direction. Yeah, Boy Scouts. Big air quotes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay. Um yeah, I was in the Boy Scout growing up. And honestly, like I had a pretty good time overall. There were definitely certain things that I didn't super enjoy, but overall I quite liked my time in Boy Scouts. Um I can I do time set? I can't do time set. All right, bed. It's late. It's late. It's dark. So mayhaps, let's get rid of this rain. You got taught how to use a whetstone. Oh, that's kind of fun. I I had what I would consider a pretty typical experience with the Boy Scouts. I did not stick to it completely. I did not end up becoming an Eagle Scout, which for those unaware is the highest rank in the American Boy Scouts. Nor did I ever join the Order of the Arrow. My father was a member of the Order of the Arrow. I was not. Also, if you don't know Boy Scouts, the name Order of the Arrow sounds so intense. I also did not become an Eagle. I refused to do anything to get badges. Fair. I ended up being a second class scout when I stopped. I just I liked the parts where we actually went out into the woods and stuff and did things. Or actual community service. I liked that. What I did not enjoy was constant meetings for meeting's sake. The weekly, like, hour-and-a-half long meetings where nothing happens, I did not enjoy that part very much, I must say. I was not overly fond. They were so boring. It's unbelievable. I just couldn't do it. So yeah, I stopped after I hit second class. What were the meetings for, theoretically? Like, planning stuff that was gonna happen in the future? Which, like, fair enough. But a lot of the time, it'd be like, you'd have a big, important conversation at the beginning that takes, like, 15 minutes. And then after that, you're expected to... didn't y'all work on merit badges during the meetings? Sometimes. Not often, though. Most of the badges I got at camp. Which was the thing I was there for. To do stuff outside. I just... I couldn't enjoy myself. So eventually I quit. But the camping trips were great. The camping trips were really, really great. In my experience, it was an educational... Yeah. No. Like, very occasionally there would be something actually decent planned at one of the meetings, but... half the time, if there was anything, it was stuff we'd already done before. And a huge portion of the meetings were just letting us know about future events to sign up for. But yeah, the actual time that I got to, you know, do camp stuff and go outside and do things, that I really enjoyed. Oh yeah, I was taught how to retire a flag. These days I don't see much point in it. I think one of my personal favorite things that I actually did in Scouts was... it wasn't a like proper merit badge, right? Like it didn't technically count as one, but it was considered like a different thing at this one camp. They had a snorkeling badge you could get. And the snorkeling badge was awesome. That was maybe the best thing ever. It was at this beautiful camp in like northern Michigan. I say northern, the north of the lower peninsula of Michigan. Did not go all the way to the upper peninsula for that. And it was situated on this really gorgeous lake that was pretty much like crystal clear all the time. Hello, cow. And so they had a lot of like aquatic things you could do. They had various boats, they had sailboats, kayaks, canoes, and if you got the requisite sailing badge, you could just borrow any of the sailboats anytime while you were there. Lots and lots and lots of water-oriented things at this particular camp. And the snorkeling badge was like a week-long ordeal that was so fun. I love being in the water. I love being in the water so much, honestly. But like, I hope you all really enjoy Flawless Fate's dirt breaking stream. No, Automod, Gaylord is a real place. That's a real place in Michigan. Gaylord is not a homophobic thing in this case. It's just a place in Michigan. Michigan has some real fun cities. There's also Hell, Michigan. That's a real place you can go. You can go to Hell. It's a whole thing. I love Minecraft music so much. But it was this... What is it, Rav? You've come in here very urgently. Oh. Oh, I see. Yes, that makes a lot of sense, young man. There we go. Oh, thank you for the $1 donation, Righteous Niches. Thank you very much. But, one of the many things that kind of ended up happening, was the snorkeling merit badge, and the first thing you had to do was just prove that you could swim a certain distance, which was super fine with me, actually. I was, at the time, on a swim team, fun fact. I did a lot of extracurricular things at the time. It was before I realized I was trans, obviously. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oh, cheesiest boy, thank you. Thank you very much. Hell yeah, everyone. But I was able to comfortably swim the distance they wanted. So that was fine. But what ended up happening over the course of the actual badge properly, a lot of it was like essentially learning how to hold your breath, right? That was the biggest thing. Was learning how to hold your breath for a really long time while doing things underwater. And so by the time that badge was done, I was able to pretty comfortably, like, while being very active underwater, hold my breath for about a minute and a half while going around doing things, which is much harder to do than just sitting there with your breath held doing nothing. And there were lots of little practice things and tests that we ended up doing. One of the really interesting ones was that apparently way back when, the water level in this lake was actually much lower than it was. And so there were parts of the lake that used to be above ground, which meant at one spot, fairly near to the shore, if you just went out far enough for, you know, the drop off to really happen, there was a whole tree. There was an entire tree still upright underwater. And so as one of our last like tests before the final big day of the badge, we were told to swim all the way to the bottom of the tree, pick something up, and bring it back. And it was really cool, to be honest. It was very cool to go down this tree underwater. I think the majority of high schools had required swimming. At least mine did, as well. One of the only Michigan facts I know is that a worm scientist named Mary Applehoff was from Kalamazoo and she was a lesbian. Good for her. I'm a big fan of Michigan, honestly. I think it's a pretty good state as far as it goes. I mean, it has its flaws like any other, but I dare say I like living here. I will not say where specifically in Michigan I live, obviously. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. That's wonderful to hear. You're lovely. I think as far as Michigan goes, you get a really, really drastically different experience if you're in the rural areas compared to the cities, right? Because I grew up in one of the rural areas. I'm now living in one of the cities. And, oh my god. I was not treated very kindly in those rural areas. What's going on right now? This is the last stream of the Vtuber Summer Slam that I will be participating in. The Vtuber Summer Slam is a charity event where a bunch of VTubers work together with an organization called Gamers Outreach in a little competition to see who can fund the most, who can raise the most for the charity. Gamers Outreach itself is an organization basically dedicated to trying to make hospitals less scary for kids, which I think is a really cool thing, and I want to support that. So today we are participating in the Minecraft build competition for the event, okay? The theme for this build competition is go-kart, which is one of the many things that Gamers Outreach makes in order to achieve that aim, so. Oh, that's okay. I very much appreciate the thought. Because I've been holding seeds the whole time. Um, I love chimkin. Actually used to have chickens. Fun fact. Had 5 of them, which is technically a chicken crime. So, okay. Back when I was living with my father during college, okay? Back when I was still living with my dad during college. Uh I had a weird situation. Okay, so I lived with my father, technically speaking. It was his house. But I've mentioned this in the past. He owns and operates a circus. And so it was the house that he and my stepmother purchased together. But they traveled a lot for work. And so for most of my time in college, it was actually just I was living alone in this house. I just had a house throughout college. That has not happened since and likely will not in the future. Hopefully we'll be back later. All right, well, it was lovely having you. You have a wonderful day, regardless of whether I see you later or not. Um, you have the weirdest lore. Does some people not know that I used to be a circus performer like throughout most of high school and like early college? Um, yeah, I like so part of why I really like doing this so much is because I like performing and entertaining and making people smile. That's something that I've always loved from back in my circus days up to now. I've never really had issues with like stage fright or anything, kind of because of that. If it doesn't dox you, what was your act when you performed? I can certainly say what I did. Saying exactly what troupe I ran with would definitely reveal a lot about myself. And people could definitely follow that trail to learn my actual real legal name, probably. Um, but I did a lot of things. One of the rules in our troupe was that you can't have just one skill. Look at the little beeper, little bud. They all want the seeds. Um, Anyways, so back when I used to do circus performing, I did a variety of things. Because again, our show you couldn't have just one skill because especially for a smaller circus troupe like ours, it wasn't financially feasible to pay for hotel and travel and all that for a bunch of people who only have a single skill. It was much better if you could create a full show with a variety of acts from as few people as possible. Um, yeah, I dislocate my shoulders quite regularly. It's kind of the disability thing. But my particular skills, I was one of our backup contortionists. Contortion was not my super strong suit. I had like a routine that I could do pretty comfortably that involved dislocating my shoulder on purpose. um, but like if we needed a contortionist and one of the usual contortionists wasn't around, I would usually handle that. My proper acts and things that I specifically was very good at. That explains the shoulder thing. It does. I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos. The vast majority of professional contortionists, professional bendy people, have Ehlers-Danlos. That is why contortionists are able to do the things that we can do. Obviously, it's also a huge matter of practice and training, and lots of stretching. But Ehlers-Danlos makes it easier to do that. Significantly easier. It's an unfortunate fact, however, that doing contortion for a living also seriously exacerbates and worsens the symptoms of Ehlers-Danlos. Your condition will get a lot worse a lot faster if you actually do deliberate contortion work. Which is why I stopped in the end. Because I messed my body up really, really bad by doing that. I enjoyed it though, which is why I did it in the first place. And it wasn't anything that like anyone in the family really thought of until we met other performers from like other troops who talked about that stuff. It's like a contortionist friend of mine who taught me a lot, actually. She, at this point, needs to wear like a full body brace when she goes to bed in order to hold all of her joints in place, or she will completely fall apart in her sleep. I just need a special pillow at this point. A special pillow highly reduces the odds of late night shoulder dislocations, but they do still happen. And she was doing it for a lot longer than I did. But I got the condition from my father, who he was never a contortionist, but he did use it for escape artist stuff. Like it's not technically necessary to dislocate your shoulder to escape from a straitjacket, but he would do it on purpose as a as a like showmanship thing where it looks a lot harder than it does. It's you have to dislocate your shoulder to do this. No, you don't. He just did it to flex. But as far as the actual acts that I was good at, for a long time, I was our troop's best knife thrower. The clearing a field stream. We're almost done. We're almost done. Hello, chickens. But I was actually one of the best knife throwers in the show. That was one of my big things. It was kind of, because again, I was like late high school, early college for most of this. And so I was kind of a I don't want to hear none of that. All right, all right. We've almost cleared it. We've almost cleared it all out. You juggle knife or threw... I threw them at targets. But I was very, very, very good at it. I had these big 14-inch long throwing knives that made a very satisfying thunk when you hit the target. And here's the thing with throwing knives, right? There are proper techniques you can do. Various techniques that'll let you adjust the spin. I was pretty comfortable with underhand no spin throws, for example. But one of the biggest things, really, as far as knife throwing is concerned, is consistency, right? You have to be consistent every single time that you throw a knife. If you throw it the exact same way, from the exact same distance every time, then you will hit the target every time. And you will sink the knife every time, right? And so I in most of my knife throwing performances did not do proper technique. I just did the way that I had first started throwing knives myself. I'm trying to think, because I could either do a giant go-kart with a video game behind the screen, or I could make a go-kart track with a bunch of miniature versions of the Gamers Outreach go-kart riding on the track. And I'm trying to think of which of those things seems more feasible. I'm trying to think of how I would make a smaller go-kart, you know? How I would make that work visually. So we're gonna consider some options while I continue to yap a little bit. Okay? Giant go-kart seems more possible. Yeah, I'm pulling up reference image of what the Gamers Outreach go-kart looks like real quick. Hmm. It's tricky. It's tricky, I tell you what. Let's see. The things that I have to work with. We can definitely get creative, right? If you make a track out of packed ice, people can vote on it. Hmm. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Potential. 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 We're scrolling through all blocks. We're scrolling through all of them. And we're looking at the options, okay? Um, let's see. But yeah, knife throwing was one of my big things. And I threw consistently every time, but it was not proper form. And I had this weird specific thing that I just got into the habit of doing with most of my throws, where I would do this weird little stumble step forward, okay? And that stumble step was weird and scary looking, apparently. And so the actual act I did, which is very silly because I was a again, late high school or early college student who had never been drunk in my life. But the bit that I did was that I was a drunk knife thrower. um, but here's the real funny bit. Okay? Because I was a little brat of a late teen, early 20s, arrogant thing, right? I so the idea of a knife throwing act is that, you know, you have a person in front of a target and you throw knives that land close to the person but do not hit them. Okay? Very simple and straightforward. I did not. I never even cut anyone because I was very good at what I did. The thing is, I was really good and really, really cocky about it. If you're trying to impress an audience, throwing a knife, even just within like a half a foot of someone, is enough to impress an audience. Okay? That's enough. They'll go nutty over that. Um, but I just I knew with full confidence that I could throw a knife closer than that and not hit. And so I did regularly. I would throw a knife within like 2 inches of the person without hitting them. And I got, my dad, he sat me down and we had a talk about that. So he was like, I know you can do this. I know you're capable of that. Don't. Don't do it. You don't have to. You don't have to impress an audience. And it's safer to leave more of a margin. So I know you can do this. Stop it. So I got scolded a little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. These things, they happen. So that was one of my big acts. One of my other big acts. I'm not assisting you in not being gay about this. Well, let's see you be gay about what's next. Because that was far from my only act. One of my other big acts was as a human blockhead. Now, who here knows what a human blockhead is? I'm gonna hazard a guess and say not many of you. Gonna guess not many of you know what a human blockhead is. So, a human blockhead is someone who their thing is sticking stuff up their nose. Um and I was very good at that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um there were yeah, nails and stuff like that. Exactly, exactly. Um different blockheads do different performances, different things go into their noses, do different bits based around it. Our show had two main blockhead acts. Um, Professional younger sibling energy. I am a younger sibling. That is true. I am the younger sister. It is true. It is true. Um, okay. Okay. No, that's what I was saying. Because I don't expect you all to be able to be gay about this. um, but what one of the two acts that were regularly done as a part of this show for the, let's see, yeah, I don't think I don't think there's any way I can make it work. Curses. Curses. All that effort for naught. Okay, so we're gonna make the giant go-kart. That's what we're gonna do, okay? So, the first step is we need to make wheels at an angle. We do need to kind of plot out the scale of everything. Oh, for anyone curious, by the way, my skin in Minecraft is Honkai Star Rail Silverwolf. Ah. Angles are hard, but we have to be strong. I'm gonna be using concrete a lot, I think. We're gonna be using a lot of concrete for this build. Concrete stairs and slabs, yeah, that would be nice. But it's okay. So we have to make a circle. Haven't they just introduced wool stairs and slabs? Doesn't look like it, boss. Okay. Oh god, this is gonna be rough. Okay. Feels a little wide. Maybe if I just... Probably because it's diagonal. Okay. That's kind of wheel-shaped, I think. That's concrete, baby. But yeah, a human blockhead is someone who specializes in shoving things up their noses. And our show had 2 big blockhead routines that would be done. One of which was a reenactment of the story of King Arthur. And for that particular act, there would actually be a audience member involved. Yes. So the idea, right? It's a 2-person comedy bit. A lot of our show is kind of comedic in tone, but they bring up an audience member to reenact the story of King Arthur. But oh no, we forgot the stone. I thought you were supposed to bring it. I thought you were supposed to bring it. We forgot the stone. We have the tiny sword because King Arthur was a very small man, but we don't have the stone. What do we do? What do we do? Well, the answer of what to do about that situation. Okay, yeah. Oh, excuse me, Oinker. We gotta get you out of there. You're gonna... Buddy, you're gonna get stuck. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on. Right, it's 4 tall, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah. I would never allow this hog to be buried. I couldn't forgive myself if I allowed that to happen. So they forgot the stone, and they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do, right? Because we don't have the stone. What? How are we supposed to reenact the story of King Arthur without the stone? Well, use your head and think of something. Yeah, use my head. Use my head. Wait a second. I can use my head. And so, at the end of the act, the chosen audience member playing the role of King Arthur gets to be the one to extract the sword from the nose. And then hold it proudly above their head for a photo op. It's very silly. The act that I did was not the King Arthur one. My human blockhead act was usually done after... What am I building? I'm building one of the Gamers Outreach go-karts, which are these portable video game setups. Hold on a second. I can actually... Plus... Display capture. Sure. There's nothing... No important information on this display, right? Yeah, we're good. We're good. So I will just do this. Do this. Remain calm, remain calm. We're making this thing. We're trying our best to make this thing. Okay? And it should be fine. Hopefully. So I actually probably want to do like one wider, don't I? Which makes it really awkward, but it's okay. See, we have head pat and cozy mode. Wow, well, thank you. Um, yeah, and then we're gonna replace this with the white, actually. Oh, it's already getting more complicated. It's already getting weird. It's fine. It's fine. But my particular act was usually done after one of the kind of weirder acts, right? One, two. Yeah. It was usually done after one of the weirder acts, or or grosser acts or whatever. Acts like snapping a mousetrap on your tongue or that kind of thing. That's not an act I did, but we did have performers who could do that. Or like walking on broken glass. One of our big philosophies as a show and as a troupe was that we don't do acts you need to heal from. But we did do acts that look like you might need to heal from them. Important difference. But after one of those weirder acts, we had this bit where we would say, you know, people come and they watch this show. They see these things we do. And they say, you must be sick. That's sick. That's disgusting. That's wrong. How could you? How could you do these things? You must be sick. You must not be right. And we always say, no, we're not sick. We're perfectly healthy, and we can prove it. We can prove it to you. How do we prove it? How do you tell whether someone's sick? Well, you take their temperature, don't you? So, for our next act, I will be taking my temperature. And the crowd goes mild. Now, today, I will be proving to you all that I am not sick by taking my temperature with this meat thermometer. And then, you know, I stick the meat thermometer under my tongue. I stick the meat thermometer under my tongue. And obviously the crowd has very little reaction. They're not currently expecting human blockhead. No one ever expects human blockhead. So I'll be taking my temperature with this meat thermometer. And then, well. I do exactly that. I put the meat thermometer under my tongue. And no one's impressed. Why would they be? Then I tell them, well, of course you're not impressed by this. In order to get an accurate temperature with a meat thermometer, because obviously this is not an accurate temperature, is it? In order to get an accurate temperature with a meat thermometer, you have to stick it into a large chunk of meat. And no, not that one. That's disgusting. And so I ask the audience what large chunk of meat I should stick the meat thermometer in. And eventually, inevitably, someone says your face, or your nose, or what have you. Say yes, of course. And eventually the meat thermometer goes into the nose. Goes right in there, boys. Here we go. And when the audience inevitably freaks out a little bit over that, what do? Well, I seek out whoever looks the most grossed out by it, and I go up to them, Missing a block at the back? Where? It's kind of underground, so I'm not super concerned about that, to be honest. Sir, what are you doing? Crab? What are you getting up to? Well, I'll check my posture. You're right, you're right, you're right. We double check the posture. It's true, I'm building a giant Oreo because I'm starving. I'm so hungry. But after that, obviously, I seek out whatever audience member looks the most grossed out by it that is near the front row. And I walk up to them with the meat thermometer still in my nose, and I ask, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you doing all right? You look faint. Are you feeling okay? You're fine? Okay, okay. Then can you ask me one question? Can you answer me one question real quick? Just one thing." And I point to the meat thermometer in my nose. Point to the temperature displaying there. And I say, "Is it normal?" It's a very fun bit. Here's the truth about human blockhead work, okay? Is it is genuinely incredibly safe. Right? It looks scary and weird. And it looks like it should hurt. But it is genuinely a very, very safe act to do. The way it works is that you just have to know the anatomy of your skull, okay? Because if something goes into your nose, there are two paths it can take, one of which fully terminates, and the other connects to your throat and respiratory stuff and all that, right? And so what you have to do is you stick it into your nose part way, and then once it is part way in, once it is partway in, you tilt it further backwards so that it goes through the correct channel that connects to your throat and all that. And it will feel like you have to sneeze very badly. And if you push things too far straight back, you will feel some pain. But as long as you don't, try and push past the pain for some reason, it's perfectly safe. And it's a very fun act to do. We actually, in that house that my dad and stepmom had, we kept an anatomically accurate model of the human skull. And it was there specifically so that we could store the meat thermometer in it when it wasn't being used for shows. So we would store the meat thermometer in the skull, so that you know, it would show what it actually looks like. And we would use that model skull as like a teaching tool for learning how to do it. I mean this in a kind way, but you're an odd creature, Faye. Yes, I know this. I know this about myself. Again, I was raised by circus performers. I don't think that's a normal childhood. I grew up on the road a lot in hotels and stuff. You know, even when I was in like elementary school, obviously I couldn't perform properly in shows, but I was learning circus skills for pretty much my whole life because it's fun. So that's Human Blockhead. It's a pretty fun act. I think it's very silly. And yeah, it's something that anyone can do, provided they take the time to learn. Okay. Okay. So. Now, we just have 2 more wheels to make. Why is thermometer? What? Automod, what are you on? I kind of yapped about the blockhead for quite a while. But I did have 2 other major acts that I would do. Okay? And another one that was an every now and then thing. The every now and then thing was that I was a stilt walker. It wasn't something I super preferred to do, so I didn't do it super often. But I was a capable stilt walker. But my other 2 big things that I did very frequently where I was a specific type of juggler. I did poi, which is a Hawaiian thing, actually. It's where you have 2 weights at the ends of chains or ropes. Sorry, my throat's a little funky. Poi, spelled P-O-I. But you have 2 lengths of chain with flames on the ends, right? With a flaming weight on the end. And you spin those around yourself in a sort of dance. And I got a lot of training in that from a very, very talented poi spinner. One of, in my opinion, the most talented poi spinners in the entire United States, to be honest. She was incredible. She was very technically refined. And she was very technically refined and had a lot of experience moving really comfortably with the poi. Because that was my big issue at first, is I got pretty good at doing the move, right? But not dancing with it. And so she helped me learn a lot of new moves and also helped me get a lot more comfortable with actively dancing with my poi. See, I'd be scared of the fire. Well, when you're learning, you don't do it with fire. When you're first learning, you're going to be doing it with, well, honestly, you can make half decent poi with a pair of long socks with tennis balls you've stuck in the end. That's the cheapest, easiest way to make practice poi. Um oh, um let me do this. Well, something doesn't feel right. There we go. But yeah, you start with like practice poi, and then you progressively move on from there. And very notably, one of the things that our show did for the sake of fire safety is we did, if you were going to perform with fire, you had to go through our show's fire safety training. And one of the big parts of that fire safety training was actually being lit on fire. I'm going to explain why, because there is a reason for that. So, part of the fire safety training that we would do is you would have a little bit of lighter fluid put onto the palm of your hand, okay? Just a little bit of lighter fluid on the palm of your hand. And then once you had that lighter fluid there, you would be tapped on the palm with a torch. Just tapped for a moment, okay? And when that happens, the lighter fluid on your hand will ignite, obviously. The thing is, as long as the lighter fluid is on your skin and actively burning, the fire itself will not burn you. It won't start burning you until the lighter fluid is gone. And so the reason we would do this... Oh, thank you for the $18 donation, by the way, Denflexi. Thank you very, very much. Sorry I didn't see that earlier. And so the reason we would do this is because you were expected, if you wanted to perform with fire, to let your palm be lit on fire with this lighter fluid, to let it sit there for a tiny bit, and then, right at the point where you feel like it might start hurting, you simply close your hand around the fire and snuff it out. Now, the reason for this part of the fire safety training, and it was done with people around to take care of things and make sure the fire gets put out if you do panic, but it's to make sure that you can feel comfortable and confident with fire, and that we know for sure that if something happens, because the fact is when you perform with fire, odds are that you're eventually going to light yourself on fire on accident. Knowing that that will probably happen eventually, you get lit on fire in a controlled environment with a bunch of safety measures around to make very sure that if something happens, you won't panic. Because again, in this case, all you have to do is close your hand around the fire and it'll go out. And so yeah, that was a fundamental part of our fire safety training. Is having a very small part of you lit on fire in a very, very safe and controlled environment to help you grow accustomed to being around fire and not panicking when there is fire on your body. So it makes a lot of sense when you think about it like that, right? It's a pretty good way of, making sure that fire is done safely. And there's a lot more training that goes into it than that. But that's one of the big ones. Because the fact is, when you perform with fire, accidents can happen anytime. The fact is, you are not perfect. I am not perfect. No one is perfect. You will occasionally, eventually, make a mistake. And as and when that happens, you have to make very, very sure that you handle it well. I have watched my father performing with a fire whip. And I have watched it get caught in the wind after a crack and wrap around his neck. I've seen his entire face engulfed in fire, and it was horrifying. It was really genuinely horrifying. But do you know what he did? Because he had had a lot of training and was comfortable with fire, is the moment it happened, he was able to grab the flaming whip with both hands, remove it from his face, and then keep performing with nothing more than just a slightly singed beard. Not to lessen how scary that must be, but as your dad Ghost Rider, I'm sure he would appreciate the comparison. It was definitely very scary in the moment for me, I gotta say. No one wants to see their dad on fire. Speak for yourself, my dad sucks. Fair enough. If you have a good relationship with your father, you probably don't want to see him on fire. We'll say that. Ah. Okay, y'all. We've made wheels. We've done it. Almost. This stream might run a little long, just so we're all aware. Because we're going until this build is done. Um, so poi spinning was one of my other major acts. And I didn't always do it with fire, right? Because here's the thing, okay? Is yes, I did have the fire safety training, and I could do it with fire, but not every venue was cleared to operate with fire on it. In order for fire performers to work at a given venue, the venue itself has to be cleared for that. And if they are not, then you cannot do it. Simple as that. Okay. What does that look? Is that too tall? Might be too tall. We'll go with that. It's coming off of there. So I would pretty regularly do stuff with like ribbons or glow sticks at the ends of a rope or what have you. Oh, hello, little bat. Any one of those things. It's Patty Biter! Oh my god, Patty Biter cameo. Amazing. Hello, Patty Biter. It's an honor. It's an honor. Hi. So, my last big act, while I was performing, was actually not something that I did as part of the show proper, but was instead something that I did when the show would be hired out for parades and the like. Because that did happen on occasion. So we would get hired to do parade work. Okay? And so what I would do during parades is we would usually have stilt walkers in parades and puppeteers. Okay? We called our puppeteers, at least the parade puppeteers, pilots. We called them pilots. And that is because the puppets that we used in parades, generally speaking, were incredibly large. I cannot express to you enough how tremendously large these puppets were. Shinji, get in the puppet. Yeah. Like, actually, genuinely. And so, obviously, we would have stilt walkers in the parades. Did I get to perform alongside Big Bird? No, but I did get to perform alongside Boo Bird. We had 3 custom-made giant bird puppets that we called the Boo Birds. They were designed to look like very large flightless birds. Um, and those birds were around 8 or 9 feet tall, usually. Um, Essentially, what they were, as far as puppets go, is the person puppeteering them would wear all black, including like a black mask and hat and everything, full coverage, so they are as unobtrusive as possible. And they would wear this harness made from an adjusted hiking backpack that would suspend the back of the bird above their head, okay? And then they would attach these special sleeve things to their feet that would connect the bird's foot to their feet with the legs, doing the bird joint thing behind them. And then the head of the bird was at the end of a long neck that they controlled with a pole. And so they would walk along, bobbing the head with the pole and doing all kinds of silly bird body language and goofy things, right? Let's do this. And yeah, they would do all kinds of silly bird things as they walked with the parade, and it was pretty fun. And then we would also have our stilt walkers, and then we had me. I was not a boo bird pilot. I was the one and only pilot for a puppet known as Oswald the Giant Clown. Um, because Oswald needed to be he needed to be fitted for his pilot very precisely because he was a bigger and heavier puppet than any of the others. And so while other people could theoretically pilot Oswald, the fact is that like he had been sized for me. His harness had been adjusted for me, and it would be a lot of time and effort to adjust him for anyone else to use. I did already tell this story a while ago, but we get new people all the time. So, yeah, Oswald was an 11-foot tall clown puppet who I loved very much. And he was mine, and mine alone. It was my puppet. And he was incredibly fun. He was about 40 pounds, very heavy, and very, very exhausting to use. But he was mine, and I loved him dearly. And yeah, he was essentially a 40-pound backpack suspended over my head that I would walk along parade routes. I will drink my oiter. So yeah, that was my last big thing that I did as part of the circus was piloting Oswald. And I also, helped with setup and tear down because we had like aerial acrobatics, or we had aerial acrobats, and we had a portable rig that they could use for their acrobatic work. And so pretty much everyone who participated in the actual like stage shows would be trained in how to set up and tear down the rig. Which is very exhausting, by the way. Heavy, heavy stuff there. We've almost reached the end of building diagonally for this monster. We're almost done building diagonally. Is there a height limit? Not as far as I'm aware. Has to be within a 50 by 50 plot, which I have done. I'm so excited to stop building diagonally. It's gonna be amazing. As soon as I don't have to build diagonally, it will be filled with so much joy and whimsy. Let's see. Honestly, I feel like the angle might be a little bit too high. Ugh. Then I can build squarely, exactly. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get down to this height. And then from this height, we're gonna adjust the angle ever so slightly. Something a little more... Oh. Like this. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do it on the other side too. It's all coming together, y'all. I've never been, like, super great at Minecraft building, to be honest. Feels kind of weird, considering, like... I got a degree in 3D modeling, but... I should hide a hog in this? Alright, if I have time, maybe I'll hide a pig. Or maybe I'll make a pig chamber. But it's not the priority, alright? Hog chamber? Not the priority. It's a stretch goal. Everyone is immediately excited for Hog Chamber. All right. You know what? You know what? So I gotta plug the charity more. If I get $50 of donations within the next, like, 15 minutes, I will definitely add a Hog Chamber. Here's your newest incentive. We get 50 bucks donated within the next, like by, I'll say 4:10 p.m. to be a little more generous. I will make Hog Chamber. We will build a little box for a hog. Hera, if it's not financially feasible or reasonable for you, you absolutely have no obligation, okay? Take care of yourself first. Okay. Yeah. Gotta make sure I'm counting right. Yeah, everything's lined up. We're fine. We're fine. If I screwed up, I would be very sad. If I had to, like, reposition one of these legs, I think that would break me. I don't think I would recover from that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. We're so close. I think we do just like... Hmm? Yes. Yes, this is amazing. Okay. Okay. There is definitely something asymmetrical about this, because this feels shorter than the other way, for some reason, but I cannot comprehend why. Unless, did I map it out wrong? I guess I did. That is not a perfect square. That's okay. It's still definitely within 50, and that's what matters. We don't need perfection. This thing is massive, so, like, we're not gonna get perfection. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. Now, we bridge the gap. Yeah, it's just a little manufacturing error. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. It's literally fine. So, do y'all think we have a chance at winning the build competition? What do you think? There are a couple prizes. Do you think we can manage it? Do you think we can manage to win the build competition? I'm competing against a bunch of other VTubers, and I don't know how good they are at building. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm incredible at building in Minecraft. I'm so super good at building in Minecraft. Just eat the other contestants? Go! Go, my minions! Devour! No, maybe don't do that, actually. Maybe we don't do that specifically. We don't need to consume. It's not chomping time. Remain calm. It is not currently chomping time. Okay. Now we're just gonna build this up a little bit. Mm-hmm. It implies that it will be chomping time at some point. I mean, maybe it will. You never know. What if we presented the contestants with pocket bat technique? I really don't know how effective pocket bat is going to be, but like, yeah, go for it. Just go to their streams. Just start dropping bat emotes. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just gotta hit him with the batty biter sends her regards. Okay, we go one level higher. I'm so glad y'all liked Batty Biter so much. She was so silly goofy. Now we're talking, baby. Oh, oh, it's coming along. Slowly but surely. It's coming along. We need a YouTube audio of her so bad. Maybe I'll do that sometime. Maybe I'll do an actual baddie biter audio. Can certainly add it to the poll sometime. Okay. I've never been so locked in on a build in my life. Because I'm like, I'm accepting that the stream's probably gonna go over. But I do also have things I was planning on doing today, so I don't want it to go too super crazy mega late. And so I'm trying to like build quality while also go fast. I am not going to add feral hogs to the poll. We are more than hogs. We're more than hogs. There's more to us than feral hogs, okay? I promise you there's more to life than hog. Okay. Need to figure out the proportions here. Okay, we're building on an angle again, but it's fine. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Okay? Let's see. God, I love Minecraft music. There's like this one video I saw on a while back that was like playing Minecraft music on an out-of-tune piano. Genuinely, something about like an old, slightly out-of-tune piano. It's so haunting. It's so haunting and it's so good. Maybe the copper is the best call. Actually, that would be resin. I don't know if... Yeah, I think resin. Okay. Oops. Just tall enough. No, it definitely needs to be taller. What heck? There we go. That's much better. One higher here. Beautiful. What is this about an AI player reporting system? Is that a thing in Minecraft? In my Minecraft? Unbelievable. Like, actually, that sounds really dumb. People are abusing it now to get YouTubers banned. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. We have a frame. Stars cheat? Not so sure about what you just said. Maybe not too... Whoa, why am I tiny? I'm maybe not too favorable towards using the term schizophrenia as a joke, because it's a real thing that people have. That's people, and this is far from just a you thing or from just a here thing. This is a huge thing in a lot of places. People will often use various mental disabilities as an insult or a joke. I just don't think it's very kind. People don't generally think about it, but like when someone says something is psycho, it's like, well, hang on a second. I actually have friends who have that condition. It's not very kind. Hello, Nikki. We're calling someone self-absorbed a narcissist. Yeah, it's just something that, again, if you don't know, you don't think about it. But it is something I would prefer to keep out of my stream. Yeah. Yeah. It's especially fun when you are aware of the fact that most of the people who have these supposedly scary mental conditions are actually significantly more likely to be the victims of violence or abuse than the perpetrators of it, right? Like people with schizophrenia are many, many, many times more likely to be the victims of abuse and violence than people who do not have schizophrenia. And that is for several reasons, one of which being that they are often placed in the care of someone and have a lot of their autonomy stripped away. And when someone is given power over another person, it becomes very easy for that to be abused. Then you also add on to that the fact is, right, like schizophrenia does not raise the likelihood that you'll commit violence at all, but people hear that you have it and they assume that you will be. You know, you start showing any symptom at all and they think, I'm in danger. I need to defend myself from someone who's not a threat. Mm-hmm. It is a stupid way of thinking, but it's a impulsive choice that it's an impulsive way of thinking that a lot of neurotypical people who don't know things tend to make, right? They see all the media that shows people with these mental conditions as volatile and dangerous, and subconsciously, at the very least, some part of them thinks that it's accurate. Go. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I would call it stupid people, right? Because I feel like when you say that, like, it's dumb people who think a certain way, then you end up with a lot of people ending up with this idea of, like, well, I'm not stupid. I'm an intelligent, rational person who wouldn't make that kind of mistake. I'm immune to that kind of mistake. And the fact is, yeah, misinformed people. That's a much better way of putting it. I think it's very important to keep in mind that, well, as Garfield often says, you are not immune to propaganda. And likewise, you're not immune to racism, ableism, sexism, transphobia, any number of things. Even if you belong to a marginalized category yourself, even if you are a transgender person, you're not necessarily immune to transphobia. You can still hold those biases and thoughts subconsciously, and they can still play a role in how you think and react to the world around you. And it's important to keep that in mind as you live your life. There we go. I think it's very important to be open to being wrong and to being criticized and having your flawed views of things called out, which is something I do appreciate about the people in this chat, generally speaking, is, you know, we all make mistakes. And when it happens, you just, if someone says like, hey, that was not a very cool thing to say, or maybe that was coming from a place of being misinformed, the people in this community historically have been very good about just being like, okay, yeah, you're right. I should have thought that through. Oh my go-kart. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, what am I doing? I should be using iron blocks for this part. This is metal. This is like one of the few parts of this that's metal. Dear God. Give me those blocks. What am I building? I am building one of the Gamers Outreach go-karts. These are mobile video game setups that they bring into hospitals so that kids can play video games in the hospital and feel a little less scared and a little more safe during long hospital stays. I have really big news about Team Sandy, actually. What we've managed collectively, all of us as a team, is our team in this fundraiser has hit over $6,000 at this point. Collectively, we've all raised over $6,000, which means we've actually funded more than an entire one of these go-kart setups, which are pretty expensive to make because they are pretty high-quality computing hardware built using entirely medically safe materials. That's expensive to manufacture. So we, Team Sandy, collectively have funded an entire one of these go-karts already, and we're still getting like even more. So I think that's pretty cool of us all. I think that's a pretty cool thing we've done. And I would just like to express how proud I am of all of us. Of all of you. It's really neat. Yeah. Hell yeah, charity. We're doing it. We're doing the charity thing. So, tiny bit more. Maybe not quite that much though. So we'll get the bigger flat top at the end. Hey, being here is still something, right? Bringing attention to this event is still something. There is actually a volunteer thing that you can do through Gamers Outreach as well, which I think is really cool. Is you can be one of their volunteers to go out and play the video games with the kids. It's like an actual real thing you can do. You can go to Gamers Outreach's website and check if they have any programs near you and volunteer to participate in some of this. They're always looking for more people to do that. So there are all kinds of ways you can participate and support without needing to, participate monetarily. Just as an option or idea for anyone who wants to do it. I just think that's cool. Mr. Ravioli, what's going on? You've walked up and started yelling at me. Yes, I'm very aware. Yes. You need all the attention right now, don't you? Yes, I understand. Those kids don't stand a chance against my epic gamer skill. Oh, he's coming to congratulate the team. Sir, don't claw up my chair. You're a little rat. You're a rat, Ravioli. You can't be doing that. You can't be clawing up my chair. Come here and get your smooch. Into the lap. I'll scoop you. I will scoop you, son boy. Don't think I won't. Don't think I won't scoop you. I'm doing it. Boy acquired. Smooches for the little lad. Oh, he's going to sit in chair now. Extra double big size Ravimote. He's so beautiful, isn't he? His eyes are empty, with not a single thought. But he's so beautiful. High definition Rav. Oh, we were talking about swimming earlier, and I did have a thought, okay? Because obviously, there's a pretty common issue that a lot of trans girls have with swimming, okay? A lot of us don't necessarily feel safe or comfortable swimming in public spaces, and I definitely get that. My comfort levels have risen a lot since I had bottom surgery, but pre-bottom surgery, it was bad. I felt really uncomfortable at the beach or at the pool, right? But here's the thing, okay? I would like to share what, to me, turned out to be the best option for when I wanted to go to the beach prior to having bottom surgery, okay? And this might not work for everyone, and I fully acknowledge that, well, I should definitely make that bigger. Okay. I definitely, acknowledge that everyone's experience is different. Mileage may vary, all that, you know? But I happened to find a website. This was actually a recommendation from a cisgender friend. Huge shout out to my buddy Cassidy. She's great. She does not stream. You will not find her anywhere. But one of my good friends, who happens to be cis, showed me a website that she likes. It's called MeUndies, okay? And the whole deal with MeUndies is they sell underwear and swimsuits that are meant for couples, okay? And here's where the genius of it is. Here's where the genius of it all is, you see? I should have... That would explain why. Okay, I think that's even. They do swimwear, yes. Which is the fun thing for MeUndies, is you can mix and match top and bottoms, yes. That's exactly what I did prior to having bottom surgery. It made me feel much more comfortable and less dysphoric wearing a swimsuit. It made me feel much safer. Was I got from MeUndies a matching bikini top and swim trunks. Which means that you have a swimsuit that has both swim trunks and a top that looks like it's meant to go together, because it is. And that, for me, immediately made me feel way more comfortable and confident in a swimsuit. Because it's like, okay, yeah, this looks like it's supposed to go together. Because it is. It does. So I don't know. It's been a while since I did that for myself, and I know like certain times of year they have more options for swimsuits than others, obviously. But it was a huge difference for me. Does anyone make like bikini bottoms for trans women who don't undergo bottom surgery? Yes. Swim skirts do also help. There are some like trans-specific companies that do that. They do exist. They tend to be very expensive. And generally speaking, they're not usually going to completely eliminate the appearance of a bulge, which I know for a lot of trans women feels like a safety concern, even if they're comfortable having one at a place like the beach. I know it felt like one for me, boss. Which is why I simply didn't go until I did the whole MeUndies thing. This is not sponsored by MeUndies, to be clear. I know they sometimes sponsor people. They did not sponsor me. This is something that I just did. If they want to sponsor me, then totally, yeah. Hey, MeUndies. If you happen to see this stream, totally sponsor me. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Hi. Hello. Thank you. I was taking a drink at the time. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. We have officially hit the $1,000 milestone, which does mean that we're gonna do a Flawless Fae fanfic reading stream at some point. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. $280 is nuts. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, I'll make the hog chamber too. I'll store some hogs in here. I'll give them name tags and stuff, so that... Yeah, yeah, you know what? You know what? For like the go-kart track that's gonna be on the video game screen, I'll make it hog themed. I'll put hogs around. Instead of like Moo Moo Meadows, it'll be Hog Haven or something. Oh my god. Thank you so much. That is incredible. Oink oink Outback? Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh my god, this build. I don't make big things in Minecraft. When I play Minecraft, I make like a little house for me to do witchy things in, because I usually get some kind of witchy mod, and I just live in my little hut. If I need space, I build a basement. I don't build big things. Goodness me. This is a superstructure. We are creating a superstructure. We're going up to the cloud layer. Now listen here, I just like a small cozy hut. That is a true fact. That is a very true fact. Feral hogs are actually a huge ecological problem that needs to be addressed. Hogs are not native to most of the places where you can find hogs. That's just they're such successful omnivores that like all it takes is a very small population getting out, and suddenly you got hogs everywhere. There are places with, you know, native pigs and hogs, but they're all over the world now, and yeah, all it takes is just a few to just get out and start messing around. Suddenly, you have a massive population of feral hogs. If I remember correctly, if the state of Texas got rid of 2 million hogs every year, right? Got rid of meaning hunting or trapping or what have you. In order to just maintain the current hog population, as in not get even more hogs, they would need to get rid of 2 million hogs every year just to maintain a population of 3 million. I believe we may have watched the same hog video, Dino Bird Girl. I saw the John Oliver video. I'm making all these hollow spaces. I have to light them up so that monsters don't start spawning en masse. Okay. We're making so much progress, y'all. One could say hogress. Oof. Alright. Sleep. So big. Okay, okay. Gotta check the reference image again. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So now... Now... Oh god, where's the center? Is this the center? I think this is the center. Yeah. Yeah, this is the middle. We're in line with the middle. Right, and then we're gonna... Yeah. Yeah. This will work. And then we come over here. Pigs are incredibly intelligent, yeah. One of their many admirable pig traits. I think pigs are very admirable animals, to be honest. I think all animals are. I really... I value living things, just generally. I know a lot of people don't particularly like certain animals, you know? And I get it, I do. There are certain animals that I'm not overly fond of, personally. But... I think it would be wrong to want to get rid of any animal of any kind. Even with the understanding that even in a world where you could do that without devastating ecological consequences, like I don't like centipedes, okay? Centipedes generally make me uncomfortable when they are in proximity to me. I don't like being near centipedes. But I think they are an animal that is pretty cool academically, and even if they weren't, they still deserve the chance to live. Population control is important, but you know, there's a line. And a lot of animals, you know, they do all fill out important ecological niches. And even for an animal that I don't like, that I don't want in my space, I do my best to treat it as kindly as I can. You know, when it comes to bugs and stuff that I'm not particularly fond of. There are plenty of bugs that I am very fond of, but you know, I try to place value on all living things as much as possible. Okay. We are so getting there. So, next step. Let's build this up one layer more, and then I will need glass. Okay? So what we're gonna do is this is gonna go up one more level here. I have a good friend who has a genuine love for all things bugs, and especially all things parasite. She finds them genuinely fascinating and cute and interesting. Um, we've made collectively as a friend group a lot of jokes that she is in fact some kind of alien parasite trying to test the waters on how everyone else feels about parasites before coming out to us all. And we have like a cute animals channel in the Discord server that I share with her. And she is one of the most frequent posters there. And she's always posting about some kind of like parasitic wasp or something. She's like, isn't this guy adorable? And I'm like, I personally don't know if I could fully agree with that from my personal comfort levels. But I super love that you feel that way. I think that's really great that you feel that way. I think these guys deserve someone going to bat for them. I think the most important thing to remember about animals and about life is that everything is trying to survive, you know? Everything is just trying to survive. No matter what it is, no matter how it looks, no matter what it does, at the end of the day, an animal's goal is just to be alive. That's the same goal we have, you know? And I myself am not a vegetarian. My partner is. Well, they're a pescatarian. I'm not. I eat meat. I enjoy meat. I'm aware of where my meat comes from, and I'm okay with that. Because I am also an animal that wants to stay alive. You know? In my eyes, you know, I'm an omnivore, so I'm going to eat the food. I think it's important that things are done in a sustainable and humane way. I think if and when the day comes that substitutes that genuinely are affordable and don't taste any worse are available, I would gladly swap to them, and I have in some cases. I eat fake chicken pretty regularly because I think there's really yummy chicken substitutes in the world that I personally can afford, but for me, right, what I would like more than anything is just for there to be more kind treatment of the animals that we use for our food. You know? I'll never expect a mass swap to vegetarianism or substitutes or whatever. And the fact is, even though I have chicken substitutes at home, if I'm like at a restaurant and they have just a chicken sandwich, I'll probably eat it. But I think the best outcome would just be for the animals that we eat to be treated better. for the whole thing to be done sustainably. That's the world I want to live in. That's the world I would like to try and push for. You know, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I raised chickens. When I was living at my dad's house during college. And it was basically just me alone in this house. I had 5 chickens. And I loved them very dearly. And I sure as heck didn't stop eating chicken while I owned them. And I sure as heck ate their eggs. Hello, zombie villager. They laid so many eggs all the time. It was way too many. I could not eat them all. I just started giving them away to friends. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. We're almost there. The default state of owning chickens is that you run out of places to give your inordinate amount of egg. Yeah. Yeah. It's nuts. They lay so many of those. They lay so many eggs. It's ridiculous. Okay, home stretch. We can do this, we can do this. I just line up with here. Go to like here-ish. I don't know how the laws are in, you know, other people, in like the places where other people live. But, in my town, when I was living with my dad, there was a legal rule that you could not own more than 3 chickens, okay? You could not own more than 3 chickens. There was also a law that you could not buy chickens in a group of less than 3. Now, the reason for this is because we were, like, in a city. You can only have so many chickens in a city. But there are also matters of the well-being of the chickens. They are a social animal. They don't like to be alone. So you can't just buy a lone chicken. So we got 3 chicks and we raised them. And by we, I mostly mean I, because again, I was living alone in this house. Most of the time, even though they were technically my parents' chickens. Right, that's about right, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then I just gotta make the big screen. And then hopefully we can do what I'm hoping we can do. Here's the thing though, okay? Is we have these rules of how many chickens you can own and how many chickens you can buy. Because they only sell the chickens in groups of 3. Because again, the chickens are social. You don't want to have a lone chicken. So you can only buy them in groups of 3, and you can only own a maximum of 3. So the question is, what happens when one of those chickens fairly early on happens to fall ill? Which is what happened. One of them had an issue and an egg got clogged and there was nothing we could do. And so then we had 2 chickens. But again, chickens are social animals. They want to be around other chickens. So what do we do now? Because we want our chickens to be doing well. We want them to be happy and safe and to be able to be the social animals that they are. And so what we did was we just bought another 3 chickens. Which meant that, legally speaking, we had illegal chickens. This was a while ago, okay? So don't worry about it. It was a while ago, and it wasn't me. I was just living there. That was my dad's house. They were his chickens. Legally speaking, don't worry. I'm in the clear, right? Is it a crime to age chicken crimes? It might be, actually. Oh God, I've confessed to something terrible. Oh, I should make this a little taller. So, like, these were technically, like, illegal chickens, but we had to make sure that they all had each other, you know? And so, that's how we ended up with 5 chickens in a city where you're only supposed to own a maximum of 3. And they were very lovely ladies. they were a lovely bunch. Some of them were really stupid. They were lovely though. And I miss them quite a lot. They're all doing fine, by the by. Today they're doing okay. It's just I no longer live there. And my parents sold the house. So they have gone to live with do you remember the contortionist I mentioned? She lives on a huge chunk of land. She lives on a huge chunk of land. And so she got the chickens. She's taking care of them. I'm very thankful that she is. There we go, there we go. Okay. So I need to sort of think about how I want to actually handle the go-kart thing in there. The go-kart in the go-kart. You see. I guess what I can do So I can pull this back a little bit more. And I have an idea. Just need to make it work. Okay. I don't know if I can put the Moo Moo Meadows into Minecraft is the thing. I can't make like custom textures, can I? Not in vanilla, I don't think. And not for stuff that like the people outside the server could see. Or who you know what I mean. Okay. So what I think I'm gonna do. Okay. The blocks to perfectly match a PNG import. Oh, so like pixel art. I could do a pixel art type of deal. Maybe. I kind of wanted to do an actual like minecart path is the thing. And that's where the concern is. Oh my goodness. This is quite the construction we have here. Okay. So we set this by 1. Sorry, I'm very focused right now. What's my favorite starter Pokemon? That would be Piplup. I'm a water type enjoyer, and Piplup especially has my heart. Diamond was my first Pokemon game, so obviously very special to me. Alright, I'm taking a sec to spit my water. I'm becoming less talkative because I'm like so locked in right now. Oh my goodness. Gotta focus up. What do you think? Should I try and do the pixel art? Should I go for that? Because I can do either an actual minecart track, or I could try and do pixel art. I think a minecart track is more in the spirit of things. And that is what we shall do. I remember Witchery. It got replaced by Bewitchment, and I don't like Bewitchment as much. So something about it just doesn't click as well for me. I don't know what it is about Bewitchment, but it just it doesn't hit the same. Alright, 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 alright. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to raise up about here, I think. There's a little section down here that's hidden from view. It's a little section that you can't see from straight on. That's going to be important. It's going to be very important for us. Similarly, we're going to like cover up the very edges of the screen right around here. The plan is we're going to conceal some extra stuff off the sides. Okay? That's the plan. Okay, okay. Oh, no. My block. I dropped my block. What did I do? Okay, okay. Should be one more in. I think. Or I just filled this in when I didn't need to. Hold on. Please hold, please hold, please hold. Yeah, okay. I do need to go one more further in. Okay. So, here's the first step. Here's the first step. Here's what I'm thinking. I need regular rail. I need powered rail. I need redstone torches. Okay. And I need lever. That's very important. Sand. Blue wool. White wool. Glowstone. Pig. Okay. So the idea, I'm gonna wait until you right. I like that. Ah, wandering merchant. Hello there, wandering trader. I have much to do, much to take care of. So, the idea is, okay, we're gonna have this on both sides. And the rails will go under here. Okay? Ah, actually, I should do like here then. It curves around there. Okay. And how do I power you? That is the question. That's actually a very relevant question that I did not fully consider the ramifications of. Like so. But that won't power you. The powered rail can be a slope. that work for what I'm thinking? I'll deal with you in a sec, pig. Ayah, why does it have to be there? That's really annoying, because I can't hide that as well. Oh, trust me, I'm no stranger to it. That works. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay. So, now a viewer from outside would see just this, right? So if I get a minecart, and I put a pig in it, then hopefully, theoretically, it would work. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Oh god. Pig? You're gonna get picked up in a sec, hopefully. Okay, that needs one more powered rail, huh? Boop. Boop. Hello, hog. Get in. You have a job to do. Down there. Good. Good job, Hog Racer! Good job, Hog Racer! You're amazing, Hog Racer! Okay. Oh, I love Hog Racer so much. Okay. So now, Hog Racer, we need to pause. We have important work to do, you and I. Because I would ideally like this to be activatable by the person spectating, right? I want the person who is interacting with this to be able to turn it on. So, the question remains, can I do that? Does it have to be connecting to a straight rail? Is it possible to split rails? Okay, yeah. You're right. Okay. Hog, you're just walking the track? Hog Racer is just walking the track? Oh, Hog Racer, how I love you. Can you be powered through a block? Yes, you can, baby. Hog Racer. Hog Racer. We're in it. We're so in it, Hog Racer. Okay. Let's get you in your cart. It's coming to pick you up. Oh? Hog Racer. Need a little more juice. Okay. Perfect. Oh, I love him. He's doing so good. Hog Racer? Oh, there you are. I lost track of you for a sec. You made me worry. Okay, okay, okay. So, now we're gonna get a little more red sand. Maybe some red sandstone. Oop. Lift this back. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Okay, okay. I need to kick this back one more layer. I need to kick this back one more layer. And then we're looking golden. Okay? So, I'm literally gonna break out here so I can see where I need to kick back. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. I've put so much of my soul into this thing. I have put so much of my heart into this hog racer. Well, thank you for the cozy mode, Denflexy. Thank you very much. My blankie. My blankie. Here's another true fact about me. I had a blankie growing up, okay? When I was a little kid. It was my comfort blanket, you know, as one has. And there was a point where I sort of stopped really using it. Oh my goodness, hi Gamers Outreach. Hi, I'm working on my entry for the build competition. Hello, 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 hi. Hold on a second. I'm gonna clear out the rain. I'm gonna go ahead and sleep till morning. I have done my absolute very best to recreate the go-kart. I am not much of a Minecraft builder, but I have been working hard. And I specifically wanted to play a go-kart video game on the go-kart. So if you flip this little switch here, this little pig will start playing a go-kart game. We're calling it Oink Oink Outback. Um, and so I'm currently just about wrapping up, actually. I just have to kind of get the background and the set dressing done. I seriously do not do big builds in Minecraft ever, so I'm really proud of how this has turned out. It's maybe not perfectly proportioned compared to the real thing, but I'm super proud of this. Thank you so much for showing up. Y'all are cool, and I'm really happy that I get to actually, like, participate in this and help out. That's kind of what I was planning, Dino Bird Girl. Yeah, I'm having a blast, and I think I probably want to do this next year as well. I had a lot of fun setting this up. There were like, you know, some things that are stressful sometimes when you're making stuff like this, but I think it's been a blast, and now I know what I'm doing with charity stuff. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna give him a name tag. He's gonna be named Hog Racer. He's our hero, Hog Racer. I hope you're satisfied, chat. I hope you wanted the hog chamber. We've made a whole hog game. Hog Racer is the hero we deserve. He truly is. Okay, and then we do a little cloud right here, I think. A little higher up on this side, we maybe do something like this. I go up. There we go. And then we add the sun. A little bit bigger. There we go. Hog Racer gets first place in our hearts. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so proud. This is so silly and I'm so proud. Let's just add some torches to this lower level here. There we go, there we go, there we go. I kind of want to add cactus, but I'm worried they might hurt Hog Racer. Oh, I can just do like green wool cactus. I can just do green wool. Doesn't have to be a real cactus. Ooh, we're plant pot. That's an option too. This is why I keep you around, chat. Y'all got some good ideas. Y'all are pretty clever, you know? I don't think I say this enough, but you're pretty smart. Oh, look at him go! Look at Hog Racer go! Alright, let's get a couple more plants. Natural blocks. We have dead bush. Short dry grass sounds great. And yeah, I'm gonna see about getting a cactus in a pot. And if that doesn't work, or it doesn't look good in my eyes. Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Oh, I can't even put it here. Can't even put it there. This is the wrong kind of sand for it, I guess. Oh, it can't be next to other blocks. Ah. And if I put something else there, it'll break. Okay, okay, okay. Boop. Oh, sorry, Hog Racer. Sorry to disturb you. Go about your day. There we go. So that, in that position, shouldn't hurt Hog Racer. Yeah. Yeah. It's elevated above the track, so Hog Racer is safe. Maybe do another one here. Awesome. Oh, Hog Racer, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of our hog. Looked away for a moment and now there's a Hog Racer. Mm-hmm. He's literally my best friend. It's literally my best friend, Hog Racer. He actually means the world to me. Just cover up the back. And then we gotta add some glass to the front. We gotta name Hog Racer. And then I think we're set. I think our build will be complete then. I live and become a better person for Hog Racer. Hell yeah! That's what Hog Racer wants for all of us. Live and make Hog proud. Make Hog Racer proud. He believes in you. He believes in each and every one of you. I finally finished watching Evangelion last night. Saw the movie. And I think there's a core ethos behind Eva that I believe Hog Racer shares. Which is that as long as you're still alive, good things can still happen. Hog Racer wants to make sure you all know that. We all remember that every day. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Hog Racer. Okay. Okay. Hog Racer? Gonna have to put a pause on your ride. The hospital scene sure was something. We're gonna avoid talking about it on this stream today. I love you so much, Hog Racer. With everything I have, I love you, Hog Racer. You're amazing. You're a hero. You're beautiful. Okay, trying to place this glass is kind of a nightmare. I haven't thought about Gianni Montegrano in a little bit. Very talented voice actor, honestly. He voices Gabriel in Ultra Kill. Oh heck yeah! I've actually never played Ultra Kill. This is one of my failings as a trans girl. I've not played Ultra Kill. I should play it. I have a lot of games on the list, boss. Ultra Kill is definitely one of them. I really want to play more of the Devil, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they got me. That game got me. But like, I can't. We finished the SummerSlam, then we have to finish other games, and then we can get back to Of the Devil. But other stuff's gotta happen first. Other stuff's gotta happen. Ugh. Gotta happen first. I will say, one thing that has changed since I started streaming is that I often look at new games and I think, should I stream this? Should I do it live? And I'm not always doing that, right? There are games that I just play for myself because I think it's fun. Like when Monster Hunter Stories 3 came out. There are a lot of times when I think about playing a game and it's like, do I want to play it in my own time? Or should I play it for stream? It's difficult because I like streaming quite a lot. But like this is work, you know? Part of my work is playing video games, which is really fun and awesome. And also, you know, I have to be at least somewhat uh in go mode when I'm streaming. I have to be, at least to some extent, trying to be entertaining or interesting. Which does make it harder to play a game just for playing a game's sake when you are streaming it, right? If I ever get into streaming, I want to stream games from my childhood. That's a good way to do it. I would honestly love to stream Final Fantasy X sometime. I've played it so many times at this point because I love it so much. I would be super happy to play that live for you all at some point. It's a very important game to me. Okay. Our hog racer is in the go-kart. He is sealed. He is sealed and he will not escape. I need to start streaming on Twitch, but I'm horrible at leading conversation, let alone performing in public. It's a skill. It takes getting used to. I think I'm pretty alright at it. I think I'm a decent yapper. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. Use a dye and a glow ink sack on the sign to make it stand out. Where's Hog Racer 1? Don't worry about it. What color should we do the dye, do you think? Okay. Jesus Christ. Well, I'd say this is something worth being proud of. Let's see, what's the... Screen's a... Emirissa? Emirissa? That may be so. It's a bit late to change now. Okay. I need to take a screenshot of this and then record the coordinates. How do I hide... I don't remember the hotkeys for Minecraft anymore. That's how you get the chords. F1 is screenshot. How do I hide? There it is. Alt F4 is not screenshot. You will not deceive me on this day. Okay, we're gonna wait until Hog Racer comes back. Here we go. Okay, and then I need to just record the coordinates real quick. That is... Okay. Just gonna drop down here. Just gonna message myself on Discord. 58. 67. Not that the 67 really matters. Negative 1639. All right, my lovelies. We've done it. We've done it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop Hog Racer. You did get the name, right? I put the name on him. Yes, okay, cool. Okay. I will consider torching up the floor some other time. I think this is where we're gonna call it for today. I just have a couple things to wrap up and then we're all good. So, let's go ahead and find someone to raid out to. Great work, everyone. Like, seriously. Both as far as, like, hanging out and giving good advice while I was building and being cool. And also for collectively raising $1,000 for Gamers Outreach. That is nuts. So, at some point in the near future, there will be a Flawless Fae Discord server. I will be working on that. Probably over the weekend I'll start working on it. Hopefully it should be up within like a weekish. Together, probably towards the start of next stream, we're going to discuss making up a new custom emote that you all are going to help me design. And then also in the near future, we will be doing a full stream of reading my Arknights fanfic from start to finish, end to end. Thank you all so much for being here and for getting us this far. It's genuinely so amazing. And I'm so proud of everyone here. So, without any further ado, let's find someone to raid out to. Let's see. Ooh. see, let's see. Are you still alive? That is the question. Are you still alive? Yes. Oh, still alive and playing Monster Prom? Well, that sounds very fun. Let's go hang out for some Monster Prom, shall we? I actually think that might be one of the sequel games that they're playing right now. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. I'm gonna be sending out the raid in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bye-bye.